Hi guys, Mark Casey here from TUFF Australia with my good friend Trent. We're going to talk about this TUFF Special Build, MY24 LandCruiser dual cab ute. But first off, I'd like to make a shout out to Trademutt for these pretty leery flash shirts that we wear on Fridays to promote a mental health charity for men, the guys that make all these things for us around Australia. And it also covers It's a Bloke thing as well. So shout out to Trademutt at the start. But let's look at the front of this amazing build, which Trent spent quite a few months putting together. So we've got the right man here to explain it. But it starts with a TUFF 4.5 poster, Trent.
Yeah, so 4.5 post bar on there. We have also fitted up our worn 12,000 pound winch there, along with our steady 9-inch Type-X Pro spotlights. And then obviously we've got our GME antennas down the end there next to you, Mark. Yeah,
so we got the UHF covered and the Selfie.
That's correct. So at the moment we've got the long antennas on there at the moment. So they'll basically give you further distance in the open road areas. And then we also have, with this client, he also went with the twin pack areas as well. So with the short one, you use that more in a mountain area and stuff like that. So yeah, it'll basically give him the option to go between the two. Like I said, the longer one will go that long distance open road kind of thing. Something like you'd go Toowoomba to Roma, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
you've got
pretty flat.
That open road, so.
I guess this client wants a vehicle that's self-contained and can be out in the bush for weeks, wherever he is with his mountainous or flat country. Yep. It's all set up to be self-contained. Exactly. That's the whole idea. That was the whole design brief we had for it. So we've got the twin TUFF brush rails, which we're pretty well known for. So that's giving you that protection of the side of the vehicle in the bush, but also provides extra protection for animal strikes. It makes the car that bit more secure. We've got some fog lights, we've got our LED parking lights and indicators. Maybe we just open the bonnet and have a look inside. There's some very cool stuff on the inside of this thing. So, do you want to start on that side and we just explain what we've got here? Some amazing work by our friends at Just Autos, what they've done to really develop this motor.
So basically we've got, as Mark was saying, we've got our Just Autos airbox. It will be plumbed up basically to the snorkel, but that larger airbox runs a lot stronger clamp design around the air filter. A bit of a common thing is a little bit of dusting on some of the factory airboxes. So as a peace of mind, also the reliability side of things as well, just to make sure that engine doesn't take in any dust, dirt, no matter where this client takes his vehicle.
Australian made.
Australian made as well. Along with that, we've got the Just Autos intercooler fan kit.
So this is two fans that we've got now on top of the intercooler.
Fans, yep. So basically they come on once the engine starts and is running. So that basically helps with heat soak in the engine bay. The biggest killer for engine performance is obviously heat. And the lower we can have those intake temperatures, the more efficient the motor can be, fuel economy wise, power wise. So that's the biggest thing there, is running those twin fans there. It helps draw that airflow in through the front of the grille, front of the bonnet there with Toyota's design, and help pull all of that cool air into that intercooler.
Keeps it cooler.
Keep it cooler. So along with that, we also have the Just Autos exhaust system, high flow DPF. This client wanted to go with a dual twin exit exhaust system, so they've done basically 3-inch off the turbo high flow DPF into a Mantra muffler, and then he's done the twin exit exhaust out the back of it as well. So definitely has a very nice note there.
Sounds beautiful.
Sounds beautiful. Sounds the way a V8 should be, especially a diesel.
We might try that later on.
We might try that one later on. So yeah, they've also gone along. One of the big things is obviously with the tune that's now in this vehicle, it's got a 5-stage map in it. So he can go back to original, basically stock standard tune. And then we have stage 1, which will basically bring the RPMs up. Sits at about 1500, 1800 RPM. Will basically assist with load on the battery and the alternator with using the winch. So it just can constantly keep it at that RPM where it needs to. Then we go into our second, third stage. So basically with those ones, we have our tow tune, so it increases horsepower, but mostly torque. Obviously if we're going to start pulling, you know, a 3-ton van or 3.5-ton van behind it. Obviously, there's a little bit of weight on the vehicle now with the canopy and everything set up on it. So that one there's more of a tow economical tune. And then in our later tunes, in our stage 4 tune, we go into basically our high output tune. So the highest amount of torque, the highest amount of horsepower. So with this setup, basically we're in excess of 110 horsepower gain at the rear wheels.
A plus 110 horsepower, same motor.
On the same motor.
That's amazing.
Internally, all the motor is still standard. And then we're in excess of 350 Newton meters of torque. We've doubled the torque basically out of its engine from factory, and that's all at the rear wheels as well. So that's on tune 4. So then we go into tune 5, which basically we call it a ghost tune these days, make it sound like a bit of a cammed V8 back like old school days. So gives it that bit of a lumpy idle and whatnot, but in the way of power and torque, it's basically exactly the same as tune 4, just has that lumpy idle to it. So, but most times this client would be, you know, recommended to drive around that efficiency. Probably tow mode is probably the one that he's going to go to. The power mode is probably something where if you were in some soft sand, struggling a little bit and whatnot,
but you've got amazing versatility. Just at a switch there, you can.
Yeah, exactly.
You've got 5 modes.
5 modes, all controlled through the cruise control switch, factory cruise control switch there as well. So you can literally select it on there, and the tachometer will literally move to which tune is which. So, and not only that, basically 0 on the tacho puts it into a mobiliser mode. So basically putting that one in there, Just Autos have gone through and been able to cut, you know, fuel injector banks and everything off. So as a security thing,
measure.
Absolutely, you know, just before you turn it off, you put it into that last mode, take the key out, and yeah, it definitely will not start when you put that key in.
It's a very good idea, because this is quite an expensive vehicle with everything on it.
Yep.
How about we just go over and have a look here? We've got some really cool electronics and electrical work here.
Yeah, we do. So basically you'll see over there, under the bonnet here, we do have multiple battery systems in this vehicle, another one in the canopy, which we'll go through in a minute. But this is running a Red Arc DC-DC charger, 25 amp. We do have solar input just behind the just behind one of the posts there on the bull bar there, Mark. We've got the black Anderson plug there. So this client's gone with basically a portable solar panel. So wherever he pulls up, if he wants to charge that battery there, plug it in.
Away you go.
And away you go. So that dual battery system there, as I said, it's on the 25 amp Red Arc charger. All done up on fuses there as well. And then where your hand is, we've got some MIDI fuses there, which bank all of the main battery supplies, so winch, spotlights, also the feeds to that charger there as well, and then the one obviously in the canopy as well for the Manager 30. But that dual battery system there, it's basically powering our Bushman fridge, which we'll go through later on. But the Bushman fridge, center console fridge in the middle there, so cool drinks all the time. Don't have to get out the car, pull up or anything like that. Drinks literally right there, you just lift it up. So that one there looks after that. Also some of our lighting features in that, work lights in the rear, also on our headboard, our rock lights underneath our guards here as well. So
and everything's fused.
Everything's fused there.
Here, so it's easy to up the fuse.
Easy to
you
access.
Can replace
Everything's labelled as well. So just ease of access.
And we've put a lot of time and effort into how we set up all of these wires coming off the terminal, waterproofing them, weatherproofing them, and also we've had to do quite a bit to get the trays to fit things in here.
We did have to do quite a bit. So obviously with this vehicle, you know, when we first got the vehicle being pretty new to the market and whatnot, there are some variables in the way of pre-facelift 79, some things did fit. And obviously with this current model now, there was a few things that Toyota altered slightly, which were very similar in a way, but we had to do a bit of our own R&D, which we worked a lot with our engineers and whatnot in that department to basically make things fit and, you know, kind of produce the first one on the market, I guess you could say, and basically make this vehicle what it is today. So as you were saying, you know, all the fuses and everything there, there's a lot of custom bracketry and everything that's gone into that to make it all neat. But not only that, make it serviceability wise, if the client ever has an issue.
And you are a mechanic, so you know what it's like.
Exactly. You know, you need to understand at the end of the day, some people are going to have questions on how to do things and whatnot, but if you can make it basic and simple at the same time, it just makes it that little bit easier and a lot less stress, you know, for someone to leave and go on a big trip and they can carry spare fuses or anything like that, and it's quick and easy for them to change. So you know, there's a lot of time gone into obviously trying to not bundle multiple wires up, you know, onto battery terminals and that.
It can look really crap if you don't do it right.
It can look pretty untidy. Not only that, you know, it's a bit of a fire hazard in the way.
Yeah.
You start to add multiple wires, you start getting loose connections, it creates heat.
It does create an arc then.
Yeah, exactly. So obviously went through a lot of time with the way of how many amps things were pulling, you know, voltage and stuff as well, and done all the correct cabling to basically do fuse blocks in certain sections where it could run one big cable that would power all those sections, but then do multiple fuses. It's
such an important thing. People don't sometimes put the work and effort into it.
Yeah.
But then that's where you can end up with problems. You see some terrible wiring jobs. So that's the vehicle from the front. That's under the bonnet. It's an amazing improvement from the guys at Just Autos to get another 110 horsepower, a pretty powerful motor, and over 300 newton meters of torque.
350 newton meters of torque there, yeah.
That's an amazing increase in the versatility and the power of what is already a powerful V8 motor. Let's talk about the suspension upgrade on this this lovely Sandy Taupe.
So this one here has our Lovells 4200 kilo GVM upgrade on it with the Platinum Series shocks. So basically it's a remote res shock. So obviously with the remote res, it can hold a lot more fluid, a lot more oil in it as well. So with that, you don't get shock fade. The thing is with the canister style shock, only so much fluid can go in there. You know, over time with weight and everything, and you start to heat that up.
We have eight increments of adjustment.
Yeah, so we have 8 increments on that reservoir as well. So basically, try and set it in the middle at the moment. It's driving pretty good, but you might find, you know, as the vehicle starts to settle down and whatnot, or if the canopy came off the vehicle, just to soften that rear end a little bit, you'd wind them back a little bit. So basically, yeah, those adjustments there will change all the pressures in the shock from softening it to stiffening it as well.
And we've added the Cooper tyres.
Yeah, so we've got the Cooper tyres on there as well.
And the rims.
As part of the 4200 GVM upgrade on it, as a load rating, it has to pass a certain load rating on that. So we've gone along and done the load rating, and also obviously gone with the all-terrain tyre on there as well, along with also load rated ROH wheels as well. So everything has to meet a certain minimum requirement specification, obviously. As I said, it's a 4200 GVM upgrade on this vehicle, and we've also done a onboard airbag man system with it as well. So we've got the airbags in the back there, so you know, canopy on, canopy off, put a massive load in the back, put a trailer on caravan, and literally change the stiffness of the physical suspension itself, not so much the shock, but the physical spring stiffness in the rear can all be changed through basically a couple of switches inside, which we'll go later on and talk about as well. So,
and we've got the TUFF steps, which are very well known for, which I found they're great. It makes it so much easier to get in and out of the vehicle.
Yeah, definitely.
We're obviously waiting for Safari, the new Safari snorkel, which has had some delays as they're developing it. So we'll be fitting the new Safari snorkel there and getting that finished up. Okay, guys, let's have a look inside the vehicle in the cab. There's some fantastic work in here, particularly a shout out for Cruiser Consoles. Their work is beautiful and adds so much to the vehicle. So let's have a look inside and take you through it.
Inside the vehicle here, we've teamed up with Cruiser Consoles. So basically they've done their T-shaped console at the top here. We have our navigation lights there, plenty of storage pockets in the front and also in the rear of that one as well. Probably the favourite one of the all is the centre console here. We've included the Bushman fridge. As we spoke before, is powered up by our dual battery system underneath the bonnet there. Along with that though, as mentioned before with the suspension, we've actually got our Airbag Man onboard airbag system. So basically that's all hooked up through a ARB air compressor that's in one of the toolboxes, which we'll go through later on. But as a convenience for the customer, instead of having to get out, pump up airbags, you know, side of the road or the service station and whatnot, you can literally just do that by the flick of a switch, pump them up, let them down. It's all displayed there on the gauge for him just to even all of his pressures out and know exactly what they're doing. As mentioned before earlier, we've also fitted up with the GME XRS 370 UHF there as well, along with the cell fire, which is located underneath the passenger seat there. and also teamed up with Light Force as one of our go-tos for gen look switches inside here. So that basically looks after all of our spotlights, our work lights, and rear lights as well. So that's basically what we've done on the inside of the vehicle. Also fitted up with the canvas desert spec seat covers in the front and the rear row as well. So they were all done by Chris from Desert Spec here locally. So it's a nice finishing touch to the vehicle, and also protects those seats and keeps them in that factory new look condition underneath.
Let's talk about this really nice TUFF canopy that all the guys in the factory put together, and then we got it coated at our TUFF Coatings facility. Interesting little feature that we put on as a bit of fun on this Eureka range is a little bottle opener, so you can have a cold one when you get to the camping site. We've put these nice deep big drawers on 250 kilo rated runners, so that you can carry lots of stuff as you're heading out into the bush. You can carry all you want. We'll just see if we can demonstrate these. So everything has got a marine carpet on the inside of it, which is really good to keep things cleaner. Also deadens the noise a little bit. And we've got marine carpet up here, and we've got the Unitrack system. So if you want to tie anything on or whatever, you can do that. So these have worked out pretty good, I think, Trent.
Yeah, no, they have. Definitely that deep drawer. There's a lot of room in there. So, but as Mark mentioned, the 250 kilo runners on it, you know, you could handle anything that you're going to put in that drawer. You know, if someone was to put a chainsaw in it and firewood or whatnot, there's not going to be any dramas.
But it's nice to have a good strong runner rather than having any twisting
exactly.
in it.
It stops, you know, that twisting motion and everything like that. And, you know, obviously, as you mentioned, the guys in the factory have done a tremendous job of making these drawers. Obviously, with the thickness of the material and everything used there's no bowing or anything like that. Just sits perfectly square. Those runners sit perfect, and everything just glides nicely. So it's really come out well.
I'll tell them you're organising a couple of cartons of beer for them.
I'll say that. That's
so the other thing here is we can jack off the canopy, so you can lift your canopy on your wind-up stand, drive off, and you're left with your tray body. And then we've got the gudgeons here that you can put on the tray sides. So you got that versatility with your build. And a lot of our clients are going for that type of setup. We've got a pretty nice fuel filler here. We've got the toolbox there as well. The lights, we can change them to that more.
Change them. So basically I've got the white feature on at the moment. But we can select that across into an orange feature. So obviously with the orange color, you're not going to have any issues with bugs or anything like that. Obviously they're attracted to white light. So it's good that the option's there to change the color of that. And not only that, obviously, as you're looking at there, our T handles there, they've come out really good in the black.
Yes, it does look nice.
Another option now that we are offering, obviously with a lot of our canopy builds, toolboxes, etc., is the basically the option to have remote entry. So that's all wired up through the factory central locking in the vehicle. So when you press that Toyota key, it unlocks the canopy as well.
So that's all wired up, ready to go?
It is all wired up, ready to go. One thing that I know a lot of the guys in the fitting department and a lot of clients are actually liking as well is with these T-handles, they've actually got an LED bulb on the outside of them. So you can actually see when you lock the vehicle, it actually shines a little red flicker in the LED light to tell you that it's locked, and then it'll go green when it's unlocked.
So it's got this set on.
Yeah, so it's got that set up on the outside of it. So definitely good for at night time. You know, you lock your vehicle and whatnot, you want to make sure it's locked. You can look for that little red light or that little green light when you're trying to unlock it. So yeah, definitely a very nice little feature.
The other thing we've branded this with a honeycomb type design to reinforce the door, and we've put these strips here, gussets, to just keep everything nice and tight off these struts here.
Yep.
So that sort of takes us through we've got the steady work lights here. I think we've got them on the back on either side
as well. So client wanted to have the option to shine them out the back, go out the side or anything. So up, down, anything like that, wherever he wants to position.
It's really versatile, isn't it?
He can put it so, and one of the big features that he wanted was to be able to turn those lights on from inside the cab when he's driving the vehicle, pulling up at camp or anything like that. But not only that, I've also wired it up in the way that you can turn them off and on from inside the canopy as well. So yeah, just having that versatility of not having to hop out the vehicle, you know, go back around the canopy to turn it off and on, and be able to turn it off and on from inside the vehicle. This
is something that the client has been a dream vehicle for them for years, and they just want to be able to go out and enjoy the beautiful Australian outback and be self-contained and have that flexibility. You get to the campsite, just flick the lights on, and you can do what you need to do. Just one thing we want to point out here is we've got this little unit up at the top here, mate. What's that do for us? Is this a bit of privacy when I have a shower?
Yeah, so that there is
scare the native animals.
The Darchi shower tent. So basically, with the rooftop tent, we've got our ladder point here for access, and then off to the side there, it's the Darchi shower tent. As I mentioned, it's basically a metre by metre square tent, goes all the way down to the ground. So, you know, if you want to run hot gas, hot water, or, you know, a water system or whatnot, it's got all the mount inside the tent there and that to do a little shower head and whatnot. So it gives you somewhere to basically have all the home creature comforts on the road as well.
Yeah, and then we've got the Max Tracks here.
Yeah, so we've got the Max Tracks there. So
nice little mounting system for them.
The mounting system on both sides. So yeah, I don't think he's going to have any issues of getting stuck anywhere with that worn winch, and also having the Max Tracks there.
And again, Australian made.
Australian made, yep.
Which is always great to see.
Yep. So as we spoke about, guys, underneath here we have our J-Max track correction diff. So basically from factory, the rear end of a cruiser runs about 50mm narrower track in the rear end compared to the front. Example, you drive up the beach, you would actually physically have 2 different track marks going up the beach. So a fair bit of resistance in the way of requires a lot more engine power and whatnot to pull through terrains like sand, mud, etc. But basically with this track correction diff, with that extra track on it, it also helps the vehicle in the way of a boaty feel, gives it more stability going around corners. Basically has chrome moly floating axles in it as well. So it reuses the factory LSD that it comes with from Toyota. And then we completely changed this whole rear housing. So it bolts in all to the factory pickup points on the suspension. We've also added in a road safe sway bar there as well. So just assists with that body roll of the vehicle with the extra weight in it as well. As you'll see as well, we have our Lovells GBM 4200 kit that we've been talking about. So that there is our 12 pack of leaf springs, along with our Airbag Man airbags that we spoke about as well for remote setup inside. And also have our remote res shocks there as well. Followed through with the Just Autos custom exhaust system that they've done for us as well at Just Autos, as the client did want that twin exit exhaust system. So we've got that done there as well. So that's 3-inch the whole way through with a high flow DPF. Teamed up with the guys at Brown Davis as well. We've done our transfer case protection plate there as well. And we've also run one of those up the front. In the front, pretty simple and straightforward with it. We have the Lovells GVM upgrade in it as well. So again, remote res, and we also have a HD front coil there as well to support steel bar work, the steel winch in there as well. So apart from that, pretty straightforward underneath the vehicle itself, but at the same time, from a drivability perspective, completely different car to drive now with that track correction in it, airbags and that sway bar as well, and the benefit of having that remote res as well, we can stiffen it and soften the vehicle as we need to, depending on how much weight's on the vehicle. So that's pretty much all of it underneath the vehicle, guys. And yeah, we'll go back up top and have a bit of a look up there.
Right, guys, let's talk about the rear of the vehicle and this setup with the canopy. Trent, we've got the LED lights there. Yep. Look really, really cool. Got the steadies you just talked about. They can be adjustable. Do you want to show us how the trundle drawer works?
Yeah, so we've got this trundle drawer here.
So you get that extra storage capacity?
So have that extra storage capacity there. Client wanted to go for stainless top there on top of it, so that's fully removable as well. All marine carpeted inside there as well, so nothing's going to get, you know, damaged or anything like that. So
if I wanted to prepare some food or do something, I can do it.
You've got that there.
It's stainless steel. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Stainless steel that the again, the team in the factory have made up for us and whatnot on this one there, so it sits nicely on that trundle drawer. And yeah, again, 250 kilo runners on this drawer system as well, so throw whatever you want at it.
And we've got some extra rubber sealing around
so double
here
sealing. So we have our sealing there around the actual opening itself, and then we run an additional strip rubber on the top there just to prevent anything in the way of, you know, rain running down the back of the canopy, water or anything like that.
Trying to keep that rain and moisture and dust
try and keep moisture, dust out of that area. So yeah, so that's basically our trundle drawer setup in the back there. Additionally,
so this whole structure is made out of aluminium. So we've made it to be really strong, good thick material, but you just got the big advantage of the weight saving compared to steel. So we got this is our access steps that we need to
so this is one of our new ladders that we have now. So that's our new TUFF ladder. So that one there's to access, basically get up to the top there, unlock the rooftop tent, get the latches over and whatnot, so you can get that set up. Really good actually to get up there if you want to give the top of the car a bit of a clean and whatnot. Yeah. So you know, it's very, very robust, very sturdy. And I definitely think it looks the part, that's for sure. Yeah, and
we put some lightning pieces into it to try and just keep it pretty light as well, because at the end of the day, even though it does have a GVM upgrade, there is a limit. You know, you don't want to have unnecessary weight, but it's still maintaining the fully welded out strength and everything. Yep. So this is a little jerry can holder that we have.
Jerry can holder as well. So there's the latches on the side of it.
So we do it so it's a little bit easier to access it. Yeah. Shout out to Harman, one of our designing engineers who really wanted to develop this as a nice way to carry a jerry can.
And not only that, the fact that it can be completely locked. You know, so as I said, you've got these little latches on the side there, but with the provision there to add a padlock into it, you know, if you have water on the back of it or if you had to have diesel, last thing you want is that jerry can to go missing. So yeah, you know, Harman's done a great job of coming up with that.
Nice little vent here. That's on a little 12-volt system.
So that has basically it has a little 12-volt computer fan in the back of it. It spins at about 3,500 RPM. So that's all wired up, controlled inside of our red arc system, which we'll go through soon. But basically we have a breather vent in the front of the canopy to try and create a positive air pressure inside that canopy. Obviously with the dual battery system that we've got in there, quite a large system, fridge, you know, lights and components, there could be and potentially will be a little bit of heat with inside that canopy. Yeah. So to help get the airflow going through there, also create like a positive pressure, as I said, just puts an extra bit of sealant on them seals around our doors and everything, keep water out, keep dust out and everything like that.
Rub dust out.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. So that's the rear of it, that probably covers it. The only thing we probably do need to talk about is a really nice setup here for when we're towing, that whole setup there. The X-bar,
it's got the Hayman Reese X-bar that we've added on there as well. So basically got the drop hitch there set up on it. Client did want to have the option there to have an adjustable hitch as well, which we have also supplied him and set up for him as well. Obviously you'll see here we've gone pretty custom with it and done some TUFF orange recovery points as well. So basically with these recovery points, these side ones that you see here, Mark, they're rated up to 4 tonne in a recovery position. And then this middle one here, surprisingly, will do up to 8,000 kilos, so 8 tonne of recovery point there. So yeah,
we're pretty covered for recovery.
Yeah, pretty solid for a recovery. Again, made by Hayman Reese, so yeah, very sturdy, durable item. 3.5 tonne towing, 350 kilos on that tow ball. Yeah, definitely, you know, confidence, I guess, if towing a caravan or anything like that, you've got that product behind you there.
And we have some rear sensors here.
Yeah, so we've also added in park sensors there as well. So done a full reverse park sensor kit on this one as well, incorporated into our Eureka tray, and also a reverse camera as well.
Yes, so it's just set up in there out of the way, so it's protected.
Set up underneath there, so it's hidden away, but at the same time, client can back up to a caravan, boat or whatnot, knows exactly when to stop. But not only that, you know, backing in the garage at home or the shed at home, got the sensors there to know when to pull it up and whatnot. So, you know, still good view from the factory mirrors on this vehicle, surprisingly, even with this massive setup that we've got on the back of this vehicle here. But at the same time, you know, the more eyes that you can have on where you're going and know what the distance is, it's you know, definitely beneficial. So yeah, it's come up really well and worked in really well with our traders on.
Obviously we've got a spare wheel holder there. Yeah, it's nice and you know, plated, nice and strong to produce any issues with the shell of the canopy. So it's got a struts behind it, all that sort of thing. Yeah. So let's go to some really cool stuff over here on this side, and let's have a look at the some really interesting battery setups to give you that fully self-contained appeal that the client was looking for. Okay guys, let's talk about some features on this side of the canopy. What I really like is the extra storage space we've got here, Trent. You know, you got another nice drawer, nice and deep, lined with the carpet as well. And this one is just really cool for me, the way these come out.
Yeah, I definitely like this one, that's for sure.
So, if you're doing a bit of food preparation, filleting some fish or whatever, got a nice stainless steel clean work surface there. And then you got the slots for your cutlery or anything you want to put in here. So it just makes it, again,
yeah, definitely,
really versatile for someone. Next thing I wouldn't mind talking about is some very interesting stuff in here.
Yeah.
And it's got a light on, so the light comes on when I open it.
Yeah, so basically, as I mentioned before, this is our ARB twin air compressor setup that I've done inside here. So we've also fitted up ARB 4-litre air tank. With this system, it's set up with the airbags, obviously in the rear of the vehicle, all through the paddle switch controls inside the vehicle as well, to basically help adjust that for the client as he's driving. But not only that, Mark, it's also set up with a Nitto fitting here, so with all the ARB airline tyre gauge set up as well. So client can let tyres down, go on the beach, pull back up,
and then inflate them.
And
this is they make a lovely compressor.
They do.
Really nice.
They make a really nice compressor. So
all fits in there nice and neat. You probably could put a few little bits and pieces in there.
Yeah, definitely. You know, fit your airline kit and everything down the bottom there and whatnot. A bit of a special one we did on this one was the actual ARB gauge module. So basically what that does is it's connected to a phone through Bluetooth. So in the settings in that, I've actually got 4 presets already set. So basically for mud conditions, snow conditions, normal bitumen, highway driving, and also sand conditions as well. So
it's got set presets.
It's all presets. So he doesn't even need a tyre gauge. You can literally just plug his hose on there, plug it onto the tyre and set what terrain he's basically driving on, and it does it all for him all through his mobile phone. So
it's amazing, isn't it?
You can set all the pressures to where they need to be. The system monitors it all, sets everything where it needs to, and once it's done, close it up, put the airline in, and away you go. You're all done. So
okay, so this goes off when it has a little sensor that it closes.
So those ones are actually hooked in through park light feature.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, so as soon as those park lights are on, they're basically on. So we have that set up. You know, you pull up somewhere dark, you need to get a ratchet strap out.
You can see what you're doing.
You can see what you're doing. So it's as great as the black looks, it can be a pretty dark environment and whatnot at night time to get something out of. So yeah, we've again fitted up some Light Force Rock 9 lights in there, and yeah, it just lights it up nice and neatly.
Beautiful.
So you can see exactly what you're doing.
So this is the way to go.
Absolutely.
Upright fridge.
Upright fridge.
There you go. You don't have to lean over, opening lids, just it's all in there for you.
Everything stands upright. A little freezer compartment there in the top there as well. So this is the Bushman 130 litre fridge. Surprisingly, for a 130 litre fridge, it's still compact in size. Surprisingly, like it still has plenty of depth in it, which is great, but it doesn't take up a ridiculous amount of room in the canopy as well. So yeah, fit beers in there, soft drinks, cheese, crackers, whatever you want to put in there.
All the fish you're going to catch.
Yeah, the whole lot. But the fact that it also has a freezer part in it, I do especially like that. You can put ice cubes in it and whatnot, or yeah, freeze some fish if you caught them.
Plenty of nice venting here. It's very open, so it's not going to get
very open.
So
too
hot.
Again, engineering team really thought about this one in the way of ventilation, getting rid of excess heat. Heat soak, etc. So
we made the structure that it sits into.
Yeah, the whole lot there. So
look, we got some switches here as well. So I can plug in whatever
induction cooktop. So client has basically wanted to go down the path of being able to run induction cooktop off the top there.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've done a 240 double pole power point there. That's all hooked up through our Red Arc 2000 watt inverter there, and that's simply turns on off the push of a button. That turns on now, and now you've got 240 power there ready to go.
Straight in, ready to go.
Straight in, ready to go. So
So we've got a really interesting battery setup here as well, haven't we? This is the red arc battery here, is it?
Red arc battery is actually in behind the fridge. So that's our inverter there. This is our red arc Manager 30. So this can do up to 30 amps of battery charging. Basically all controlled here through the red arc Red Vision display. Along with that, we also have our red arc Rogue system as well in behind there. So that Rogue system in behind this box here basically is like a large fuse box, but it's kind of the brains of it all. So we can have up to 10 circuits, 5 at 30 amps, another 5 at 10 amps.
Amazing.
So this system here basically turns the fridge off and on, turns the side lights, the rear lights on, as you can see. Also turns our 12-volt fan on there at the back for our vent as well. So that one there to get all the heat out of it, but everything is all controlled through this red arc system. Beautiful. Red Vision here. And
it's also giving me a battery indicator.
Yeah, it is.
And it says 2 days at 98%.
Yeah, it is. So we can basically go through the menu on it. So at the moment the vehicle's not running, but this is telling us how many amps we're using in power. So basically we've got the lights on at the moment. So the 3.8 amps are being drawn from the battery itself, no charge going in. So it will calibrate and literally tell you how many percentage you've got left in the battery, how many days you've got, all working off what amps are being drawn. So that there controls obviously our lights, and then we have our orange feature on our lights like we mentioned before. We can go to that orange color as well. So along with that is one of the cool features I like is the water tank display on it as well.
So got that as well.
You'll see at the bottom now we have a little water tank. Don't have water at the moment, but basically in the headboard of our Eureka tray here, we have a stainless steel water tank that the factory has made up for us back at HQ. So that there is actually fitted up with a 5 leveled red arc sensor. So that sensor basically goes from 100%, 80, 60, basically all the way down to 10%. Literally tells you how much water you have left in your water tank.
How handy is that if you're at Bosch? You know, you just check your fuel, check your water, check your battery.
Yeah, everything is just there as a convenience for the client to know, hey, I need to get water or, you know, whatever. So that's all, our water point here, literally there. So we have a little fitting there. It just pops in there and just comes out like a 90-degree tap out of a, you know, wall at home or whatnot. So
has it got a little pump on board?
It does have a little pump. So you've just got a little switch here, weatherproof switch there that we can turn on, pressurize the system. Runs about 12 to 14 psi of water. So, you know, if you wanted to plug a hose into it or whatnot and wash something down.
So if you're having a shower off your little shower unit, so you can literally
run that, plug the hose into it there, run it round to your little gas hot water system or whatever system you're using, and literally, it's all the creature comforts at home, but on the road.
Yeah, and again we've got a little
so another solar endo there. So whether he wanted to put one on top of his tent at a later date or portable, whatever you want, that's all fused solar input ready to go.
So and that'll feed into the system then.
Yeah, that'll feed straight into the system in the rear here. So we're running 200 amp hours of lithium battery power in there. So yeah, should definitely get a few days on the road with the fridge. Pulled up at camp, as I said, a few days, there should be no dramas at all. As I said, that will do up to 30 amps of charge on that battery. So within a few hours from dead flat, that battery will be charged pretty quickly. But the chances of that battery going flat are pretty slim, especially with that solar input as well. You got a solar blanket, solar panel on there. You're not going to kill anything on this. It's full off-grid setup, ready to go.
And then we've got some little plug-ins.
Yeah, so we've got our normal SIG sockets there. We have
another one there.
Another Anderson plug there as well. Dual USB points as well.
Oh man, that's cool, isn't it?
And a little volt gauge there as well for another little USB point as well. So yeah, I always kind of like to live by the motto of having more than enough than not enough. So I think, you know, if you have everything there ready to go, it's well,
if you're going to remote places, it's always good to have that, you know, that security, that insurance that, you know, you can see where your water is, you can see where your batteries are, and you've got plenty of options to plug in solars. You know, keep everything cool and operational.
Yeah,
so that probably takes us through the vehicle. One thing is that we got the Dacia tent on the top, which we can always demonstrate at another stage, but that's a really important thing because you're up off the ground and you can have that comfort on top of the vehicle. It's got a little awning that you can put off here, and yeah, that's pretty much it. because we're really delighted to demonstrate this build to you from TUFF Special Builds. A heap of work has gone in right through sales team, you know, our administration people, the people in the factory, the people that code it, and obviously Trent spent weeks and weeks on this to get it just right for the client. So we're very appreciative of our client who's put their confidence in us to do this build, and we're really delighted to share it with you. And thank you, Trent,
No problems at all.
for explaining it in the detail.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it.
You did it and you know about it.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's definitely the biggest build in all my years. Through my trade, I've been a mechanic, and then into the fitting industry, accessory fitting industry, is definitely the biggest build by far. I would probably say one of the funnest. It's had its times and whatnot, but the best part about it is obviously having a great team behind us there through, you know, sales,
engineering guys. I didn't mention them.
R&D, you know, just working on everything to make it 100% right, and basically setting it up in the way that moving forward in the future we can do it once, do it right the first time. Absolutely,
and obviously the guys in the factory spent hours, you know, taking this up, welding it out. So yeah, thanks to everyone involved. We're really proud to be able to produce something like this, and we're really conscious that so much of this is Australian made. So that's a good thing, I reckon. Well, thank you.
Thank you.